forefront, Concepcion. Thank you so much.
I'm here.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you. I'll give an introduction. Concepcion received her PhD in Spanish linguistics from the Pennsylvania State University in 1992. She is a professor of translation studies and Spanish linguistics at the University of North Carolina at Charlotte. She has taught graduate courses on translation of political discourse, subtitling, and pragmatics, and courses on Spanish linguistics and Spanish as a second language. Her research focuses on pedagogical aspects of translation and second language acquisition. She has authored an intermediate Spanish textbook, Más allá de las palabras, published by John Wiley & Sons, and has edited Translation, Globalization, and Translocation, The Classroom and Beyond, published by Palgrave Macmillan. She has published research articles in journals such as Foreign Language Annals, Hispania, Círculo de Lingüística Aplicada a la Comunicación, Revista de la Lingüística Teórica Aplicada, and NECTFL Review. In collaboration with the Center for Teaching and Learning, Concepcion has contributed to the effort of redesigning large courses and expanding the offering of online courses. She oversaw the redesign of first-year Spanish, which pioneered large course redesign at the University of North Carolina at Charlotte. And her areas of expertise are translation studies, second language acquisition, and Spanish linguistics, online instruction. So thank you so much. Without further ado, let's introduce Concepcion's title, Discipline-Specific Writing in a Spanish-English Translation Course. And Concepcion Godeva, the floor is all yours. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for the introduction. Let me ask you a question before I start.
Sure.
I wasn't aware that our session would start at 14:35. It's not indicated like that on the program, and I want to make sure that the last presenter who is following me will start on time. So can you confirm when is the start of our next presenter?
So I go for 25 minutes. Basically, I'm going to start timing you now for 25 minutes, 20 minutes for your presentation, 5 for questions, and then we'll start the next person.
All right. That's not what the program says. That's why I'm concerned about that. So I'm going to ask you, please.
Yes.
To please signal me. Please signal me at 14:40 Italian time to make sure that Xiao Wei will start on time. His presentation is supposed to start at 15:45.
Okay,
yes.
certainly.
So for me it's 15:40. If you would please signal me at 15:40 would be great so that he can start on time. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you,
right.
Concepcion.
Okay. Thank you everybody for being here with me today. The focus of my presentation is 2 assignments that I have to integrate in my, actually it's a course, it's an undergraduate course that Spanish major students in their senior year have to take. And the university, well, in general, at US, at the institutions of higher education in the US, the curriculum is quite fragmentary in the way the students have to focus in many different topics, in spite of the fact that they may be majoring in a specific field. It could be Spanish, it could be English, it could be physics. They still have to do a number of what they call general education courses. So part of this general education, comprehensive coverage that the students have to do is the fact that the students have to have experiences that involve writing in English in a number of courses, including courses in their major. So I'm going to jump real quick on actually focusing on those two specific assignments. But the two specific assignments that I'm going to show you in just a second actually have been conceived around two major theoretical frameworks. One is what is called the writing across the curriculum movement that started in the United States in the 1980s. And also another theoretical framework important is the notion of universal design for learning, which is a framework that looks at the learner as an individual who has individual needs as a learner, and therefore the instruction has to be tailored to the individual so that that instruction can meet the needs of the individual learner. So I'm going to jump quickly to these two assignments. The first assignment is two assignments that I have to include in my translation practicum course. What we do mostly in those classes are actually actual translations mostly from Spanish into English, some from in the inverse order. But again, I have to include these two assignments where the students have to write in English. And in both assignments, the students have to write about some 800 words. And I'm going to start showing to you an excerpt of the first assignment. The first assignment is what I call the reflection paper. And what you're seeing right now is a very, very small excerpt of what it is, a set of instructions which covers about 2 pages. So what I'm showing you the definition of the task, what the students see at the beginning of those set of instructions. And so in this reflection paper, what the students have to do is to give an account of the ideas they have discovered up to a certain point in the semester. And in this account, they can include the experience they have learned within the course up to that point in the semester. They can also include information from previous courses, from textbooks that they have used, or ideas that they may have generated from just experiencing troubleshooting with their translation challenges, right, throughout their program in their major in Spanish. The second assignment is a little bit more complex. Here, the students have to do a synopsis of a scholarly article. This activity gives the students the opportunity to talk about, to reflect about translation, to discuss translation in a highly academic format. The synopsis, which, as you know, is a genre commonly used in scholarly journals when we do a review of a paper or a review of a book. We do exactly this synopsis, right? So they have to read this article about translation, about ideology and translation. The article is in English, and again, the students have to write in English. What these two assignments have in common is that there is a draft where the students have to, they do their first draft, they receive formative feedback, and that draft does not get assessed in terms of a grade. So once the students do their revision based on the feedback that they have received, then that assignment, the final version to the two assignments, is the version that gets actually graded, and the students have the opportunity to meet with me individually if they need to go over some of my comments as they prepare the final version. They also have the rubric that I'm going to use to assess and to grade the final version. So that's basically the dynamics of these two assignments.
Concepcion, it
Yes.
is 1542. I just wanted to let you know.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That's perfect. So, although these two assignments, again, these two assignments do not expose students to the activity of translation because they're not translating. They really get engaged in reflecting about the process of translation, which is something that is important, even though these two assignments really are there in the course because there's a requirement at the university that the students have to write in the discipline, have to have an experience of writing, doing academic writing in the field that they are specializing. But I guess the secondary outcome that was not intended by this requirement that the university has is that it gives them an opportunity to reflect about translation, thereby going beyond what is what a practitioner would do. Sometimes we do translation based on our intuition, about our linguistic intuition, but sometimes we don't have that insight of reflecting why am I making this decision? This decision is good, but why is it good? Why am I translating this particular segment in this way? So that is one very positive outcome of these two assignments. Another very important positive outcome of these assignments is that if you work on, between two languages and you have experience, observing how students learn a second language, you realize that when you see your students, right, who are learning a second language, you're observing how they write in the first language, you realize that many of the problems that the students experience when they write in the second language really do not stem from the fact that they are working on a language or with a language that is still in a process of development, but actually these are problems that they actually have in their first language as well, and therefore, because they have not learned it in the first language, they cannot transfer it to the second language. And so the final outcome of these, of these assignments, a positive outcome, is that I see how in me having to design these two assignments, following those two theoretical frameworks that I very briefly presented at the beginning, I realized that this process of designing these assignments have very good possibilities of application for developing writing in the second language, especially at an advanced level. So with that, on the conference, you can see on the side this presentation. You can take the references that are listed here. You'll find them there as well. And this is the end of my presentation. Grazie mille and thank you.